So please welcome Eric Clark!
This is for J.D. Salinger with Love and Swallow.
Yeah.
You're writing about your life in another stoned reverie, days frightened of the days to come. To have faith in this world, this hideous, depraved, venal world, that's what I have to do to get to heaven? Where is faith? Is faith the way God moves in mysterious ways? Find yourself on the street telling yourself this is reality, you have to first believe you are human. There's a certain look one takes when you are neglectful of hunger and deficient of means. I myself, me, I have worn this countenance, a bewildered expression of lips dryly parted, slightly puckered, and eyes dazed to a point of concentration which is nearly hallucinatory. I'm pursuing bags of cash that have been erroneously dropped and left behind. I happen to know for a fact that at this very second there are at least 16 such bags of unmarked bills containing between $800 and $5,600 lying abandoned in Manhattan. So ignoring my way, my eyes sweeping the streets and curbs and doorways and yards and gutters for money and finding only crumpled cigarette packages and torn up lottery tickets, cigarette butts, dog shit, promotional flyers, and one mouse who appears to have leaped to his death from a second-story window. In contrast to the white-worn concrete, the rodent's blood is strikingly red and trickles 2 1/2 inches on either side of the belly in delicate, thin pools. And further on my way, paper so trod upon and rain-soaked that to scrape it from the pavement would lose all hope of retention of content or form. Paper so inextricably worn into the street, I happen to glance at this very street at the precise moment to read and consider my direction was not only north, but right side up. The long past discarded religious tract's cover page eroding. Where will you spend eternity? I'll spend it here. I had long believed there were flaws in the system. It wasn't that the thing malfunctioned so much as that it operated in unprogrammed, that is to say, non-authorized ways. It didn't do what it was supposed to do. My clothes are becoming threadbare. I live week to week. That's how it goes. Some people get to cry, some people get to go to work. Start asking yourself what is wrong with you, and stop telling yourself what is wrong with everybody else. Pretend you're a lonely, manic-depressive, lovesick, poverty-stricken, drug-addled, unpublished writer. Take your friends 20. Almost dragging my leg in the August heat, the universe. Take, for example, the 75 cents worth of nickels I have in my pocket, perfect to pay for the first cup of coffee for the day. But I've forgotten matches for my cigarettes, and of course the only 6x6 hole-in-the-wall newsstand where this would happen in New York City is the very establishment that I walk into. Do you have matches? I ask the cashier as I proffer my unlit cigarette. From a counter display, he takes a lighter and produces a flame for me. He says not a word, and I light my Marlboro. Can I get a pack of matches? I persist. Nickel. What? Nickel. Now I've got 14 nickels jingling in my right pocket instead of 15. 14 nickels do me no good. My carefully wrought plan. Thwarted. They wired my head for sound, for thoughts, for brainwave patterns, neural research. I'm bugged. There's a mileage counter in place of my left kneecap. Makes me walk with a limp now and then. My thoughts are not controlled, but they're known, and that's more dangerous yet. Skullcracker makes small incisions in the temples and efficiently places a 1/8 by 1/16 inch information transmitting conductor, a surveillance camera for the mind. I'm on a short leash, and they're leading me on. I can tell when my head begins to pound behind my left ear, when my eyes suddenly have to adjust to the light. so hesitant to put anything down on the page to make a sound, clickety-clack. All eyes are on me, many years at the door, and someone has rigged it so every key I strike hits with the force of a concussion bomb detonating in the basement of 14 middle-income housing projects in New York City. The paragraph you just read killed 432, injured 4,127, and did more property damage than you can possibly imagine. I was such a quiet man. I was in tune with the silence. I don't even know what silence is now. My ears pound with amplifier-induced ringing, cars sounding on the wind, terrible, insistent mind, Bobby Darin singing somewhere beyond the sea. We use way too many words. We talk way too much. I know you're not saying a thing. I drift off. I think of Henry Miller, Sherwood Anderson, moral suicide. I feel the lack of education, my insulation, my anonymity, and this unreal pollution of faces and waste. It is I who am wasting away. The mind permanently detached. Nothing is real, nothing is real, nothing is real. I believe I am writing a letter to someone I believe exists due to a memory. The whole thing is an enormous leap of faith. I must be an alien because sometimes I feel myself paralyzed with the absolute feeling of the base and obvious nature of the world around me. And I feel utterly alone, more alone than I should be. And I dream of a celluloid act of God to funnel me and every trace of me up to the heavens, leaving one lingering moment of silence and a disconcerted moment, like a bodiless suit of clothes, standing half a second before folding in on itself, collapsing to a heap. And the world resumes animation none the wiser. The 365 days a year of constant bullshit. And